artists, and we're back. So today we're going to be looking at color as we think about our tessellations. So just as a refresher, you may remember seeing this in years past. We have our color wheel. You want to think about color as you're making your decisions. So just as a quick refresher, our primaries are red, yellow, and blue. Our secondaries are made by the primaries, orange, green, and violet. And then our tertiaries are made by mixing a primary and a secondary, and they usually have two words in their name. So like yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet, and red-orange. Sometimes artists like to use colors next to each other on the color wheel. That's called analogous colors, like these or these. Sometimes artists like to do complementary colors. They are opposite to each other on the color wheel, and when they're next to each other, the colors seem to pop out. And some artists like to go with like warm colors, which are typically on this side, cool colors over here. So just try and think about your color selection as you get started. I'm going to do a demonstration using the colored pencils. You can use markers if you'd like to color in your tessellations. However, I just really like the way colored pencils have such range of usability artistically. So when you get your colored pencil, you want to make sure it's nice and sharp. You could start by pressing really light. I would use your copy practice paper, that thinner paper, not the nice art paper, to practice this. So if you see, I'm starting to apply more pressure, getting a darker value of the black, pressing harder into the surface. So you should see a range. Okay. So you should, experiment doing that with whatever colors you're thinking about working with. Here I go, light again. I'm going to press harder. Now in thinking about blending those colors, I'm going to start layering, showing you what that looks like. So let's say I want to do a gradation using warm colors. I'm going to grab like a red, orange, an orange, maybe yellow. So if I start, actually I'll start with my yellow because it's lighter. It's easier to layer the dark over it. So I'm going to get some yellow on the practice area. And I'm going to take the next color, that yellow-orange, if you remember from the color wheel, yellow, yellow-orange. I'm going to lightly layer it on the yellow. Sometimes I like to go in little circular movements. Kind of does a nicer blending job. My son was actually telling me yesterday, he's like, "Mom, that's not how you do it." I think I was going too fast like this, and I was glad he knew that. So I'm really going to put some of the yellow-orange on the yellow so it almost fades away. And then I'm going to take that red-orange next. So the yellow-orange was by itself, or this is actually, I might only have orange and red-orange, but that's okay, because I kind of made a yellow-orange here. So this red orange, I'm going to put some on the regular orange and then work out from that. So you're getting a nice gradation of color. Small movements work best. You're trying to get in those little creases. I've talked with you all about this before. Paper is actually pretty textured. Our fingertips just think it's smooth. We can't feel that sensitively, but when you press harder with the pencils, you're actually getting into the grooves. Now I've got my red, putting it on the orange. Okay. You can darken it. Sometimes I like to darken like edging, fade it out, like I was doing over here. You have the fading in and out. So that's kind of what I'm looking for you to do with the practice paper before you touch your tessellation. And then I started working on mine, And initially I started tracing everything in Sharpie, and I thought to myself, well, maybe that's not what I want. So these ones I traced in Sharpie, so you can kind of see what the effect will be the result you'll get, which is very nice. But if you kind of like playing with those colored pencils, perhaps rather than tracing with a black Sharpie like I did up here, maybe you just want to press darker on the edge of your shapes like I did with the whale. I pressed, harder with the purple, and then I faded in really lightly. And then you could see I did those warm colors to contrast against the whale, because purple and yellow are contrasting and blue and orange are, so I thought this color scheme would make everything pop. But even the waves, I didn't use black. And if I were to do this again, I probably wouldn't have even traced with Sharpie. I might have just darkened my sunset edges, kind of like I did here with the purple, and I might have darkened my blue edges. I don't know. It's up to you what you think you'd like to try. But before you start thinking about color schemes, I'd probably, experiment with color, thinking about the color wheel, and application on the practice worksheet. Alright, so that's all I have for today. Hopefully this helps out, and keep working on your tessellations. You're doing great. Thanks.